pizza guy.
My name is Luke. Welcome to my house.
My name's Hayden.
Caroline.
My name is David and I like to party. Oh yeah, Hayden, the AA meeting was canceled this week.
Damn it.
My name is Tyler, and I also like to party.
Rick Dixon is now.
Hello, my name is Grayson Bell. Let's go over some statistics. Every year, there are 1.5 million cardiac emergencies. Also, every year, 17,000 children suffer from choking emergencies that require further medical care at an emergency room. 80% of those being under the age of 4 years old. There are also around 3,300 fatal traffic collisions every day. There is some good news, though. There are things you can do to help these people. Today I'm going to try to explain to you how to save a life. Now, to save a life, you need two things: the willingness to act and the knowledge to do so. Please keep in mind throughout this speech that this is definitely not as good as getting true CPR and first aid training from the Red Cross, American Heart Association, or ASHE, the YMCA Association for First Aid. So, first things first, CPR, otherwise known as cardiac pulmonary resuscitation. You do this when someone has a heart attack. The reason you do this is to keep the blood flowing throughout the body even after the heart has stopped beating. The first thing you need to do in any sort of situation is recognize that there is an emergency. Please follow me with the camera. Now, what I have here is a rudimentary CPR dummy that we're going to use to demonstrate how CPR works. You think you can stand up so you can
Yeah.
see me? Alright. So, CPR. First thing you have to do is recognize that there is an emergency. You walk up on someone and they're unconscious. You don't know what's happened, you've just walked up in a situation. First, the next thing you have to do after you realize that something is going on, you have to figure out why they're down. You need to observe the scene, look around. There could be some reason why this person's unconscious. There could be a down power line, there could be a venomous animal, there's a lot of things that could happen. So you need to look around the body and make sure there's nothing that's going to put you, the rescuer, in any sort of danger. So, you've seen the unconscious body, you've recognized that there's an emergency, there's nothing around them that could hurt you. The next thing you need to do is walk over to the unconscious victim and ask them if they're okay. Hey, are you okay? If there's no response, it's good to assume that they're unconscious. The next thing you need to do is look for an obvious sign of breathing, such as the chest rising, or you can see their mouth moving. So, no breath. It's necessary for you to do CPR. The first thing you need to do, you take the palm, place it in the center of the chest along the nipple line. You take your other hand, place it on the chest, and then put your shoulders directly above your hands and start compressing. When you start compressing, you're going to do about 100 beats per minute. Many people try to use the song Staying Alive to keep memory. Everyone should know that song. I'm not going to sing it because it's kind of embarrassing. Now you're going to keep doing CPR until you get obvious signs of life, better first aid, someone who's better trained than you, an automatic external defibrillator, otherwise known as an AED, or EMS arrives. EMS arrives, it's out of your hands, and let them take over. Remember, this is not true CPR training. This is just layman training. The next thing you're going to do, after the next biggest emergency, after cardiac emergencies for the layman, are choking emergencies. For choking emergencies, it's when something has lodged in the airway and stops the breathing. Now, the international sign for choking is, as most people know, hands on the throat and obvious signs of distress. Usually their face is going to be red and they're going to be coughing. Now, the first thing, as always, that you need to do is recognize that there is an emergency. So, you see someone choking. Hands cross their mouth, they're coughing, they're trying to expel whatever object's in their throat. First thing you do is ask, are you choking? They should say yes. If they don't know what's going on. The second thing you do is ask them, can I help you? If they say no, you call 911 right away, because that person is about to go unconscious and it's about to get a lot worse. If they say yes, which they should, what you do, position yourself behind the victim. If the person is much larger than you, you kind of need to support them with your leg, just in case they do go unconscious. You don't want to go down with them. You take your fist, with your thumb facing outwards, place it directly above the navel, You don't want to get too high on this because during the Heimlich maneuver, you can break off the zygomatic process, which will float freely among the body until it becomes lodged somewhere, usually in the liver, which can result in internal bleeding and eventually death. Take the fist, place it above the navel, cover it with your other fist, and then you're going to make sharp, upwards motions, hitting the diaphragm and the lungs, contracting them, and hopefully expelling the object. And you're going to do this until the object is expelled, the person goes unconscious. If the person goes unconscious, you're of course going to support them and help them to the ground, get them on the ground, call 911 right away, or send someone to do so. Explain to them that you have a victim lying down, unconscious, from choking, and that you need advanced medical care. Now, the next thing you're going to do is straddle the body and continue doing CPR, forming the fist, this time with the thumb facing up in the same spot, hand over the fist, and pressing down in the same spot until the object is expelled. Now, the Heimlich maneuver is incredibly effective up to a point. Like I said, it's always better to get EMS there as fast as you can because they truly have the training to deal with this. The next biggest emergency that the layman faces on a daily basis are everyday car accidents. Okay? With car accidents, there are a lot of things, but there's one thing you have to remember every time. Don't do anything you don't know how to do. I don't care how many times you've seen MASH, don't do an emergency tracheotomy. If you go above and beyond your current level of training, you could put someone's life in danger or cripple them for life, which both are terrible things to do. Okay. So the first thing you need to do if you're in a car accident, call EMS. Get advanced medical care there as fast as you can, just like always. The next thing, your job as a bystander is to ensure no other bystanders further hurt the victims. So you go around the bystanders, make sure they're not doing anything stupid, like if someone hurt their neck, they're not trying to drag them across the ground. You can also, if the vehicles are still on, turn them off so they don't catch fire. If a vehicle does catch fire, you can help move the victims away. If anyone is bleeding, you can apply pressure to the wound and try to stop or slow the bleeding until EMS arrives. Should someone be startled by a car accident and go into cardiac arrest, good news, we just explained how to deal with that. And if someone is impaled on something during the course of this car accident, then you leave it in there. Do not pull it out. If you pull it out, you have a cavity in the body that's soon going to fill with blood and make EMS's job a lot more difficult. Now, those are the three incidents that the layman faces on the most regular basis. If you want more knowledge on how to deal with these day-to-day incidents, you need to get Red Cross certified, ASHI certified, any sort of further aid certified. Now, I told you there were two things you needed: a willingness to act and the knowledge of how to do so. The willingness to act is where we haven't covered yet. Many of you are worried about being sued. Now, most people don't get sued, okay? If you resuscitate somebody, they're going to be very happy that you did so. Unfortunately, there are some money-hungry people out there who will try to do a money grab. The good news is no one in Texas has ever lost a suit going up against the Good Samaritan law, even those who have not been trained. Even people who saw someone pass out due to a cardiac emergency, Googled how to do CPR on their phone, and immediately went to doing it. Hasn't been a single lost suit. Another thing you might be worried about is freezing up in a situation. Some people do. I've been there myself. But most of the time, if an emergency happens, you will go on autopilot right away and just start delivering aid. And when you start delivering aid, you just go into autopilot and you really just go until you're done, and that's when you freak out, is when you're done. If other people who are trying to give aid start to freak out too, you can usually get them to stop freaking out by just going, "Hey, I need you to focus right now," and that'll snap them back to reality. Hopefully I've assuaged some of your worries on your willingness to do so, and now I've provided you the knowledge on how to save a life, and I hope you all have a great day, and I'm wrapping this up. See ya.